Let me show you how to trigger an automation with an API post request sent from Postman. I'm Alex Barlow, co-founder of Axiom. Let's dive in. So first of all, I'm just going to read you through the guide and show you step by step how to do this yourself. Let's start with creating our API requests in Postman. So first of all, I've already logged into Postman, but I'm on the dashboard and I need to click New Request. So let's go to Postman. I'm just going to circle the New Request button. I'm going to click on it. Now I need to set the type of post request as shown in the guide, and it needs to be post. I will also need to cut and paste the URL field for the endpoint to send the request to. So I'm going to tab back to Postman and do that. I'm going to change the post request, and there you are. I've inserted the endpoint. Now, if you haven't got the guide and you need the endpoint, you can check our documentation. It's also found in the extension with the receive data step that you need to do this. More on that in a second. Now, next we need to, just referring to the guide, we need to set the body and then set the format to raw, or set the body type to raw and the format to JSON rather. So let's do that. I'm going to click on body just under the post request field and then select raw. Now you can see the formats by default is set to JSON, so that's all correct and set up. Now we need to insert the JSON for our post request. We've got a very basic example already for you set up that you can cut and paste. You will, however, need to insert your own API key found in your Axiom account, and you will need to change the name to the name of the automation you want to trigger. It has to match. Regards to data, you can also pass in data. Axiom accepts a 2D format. That's how we, a 2D array format. That's how we pass data from one step to another. So format your data in a 2D array, as you can see this example is. Now let's cut and paste that, if you want to pass in data that is, into the body field. Now, all I need to do is create an automation. I'm going to create a new one to show you how it works. I'll also need to make sure I get the correct key and the correct name. I'm not going to be too worried about the data because we're just showing you how to trigger in this demo. So let's tab back to the guide and see what we need to do next. So that's all set up. We're not going to send it yet. Next, we need to set up our automation in Axiom. So let's open up Axiom and create a new automation. We're going to add our first step, and we're going to look for the receive data from another app step. Now, you can only use this step when you've subscribed to Pro tier and above. It's not available currently on our free tiers. I'm going to click and add the step. We don't need to use the test data option as we're going to be sending a little bit of data from the request itself. You can see in the text also, you can see the endpoint URLs included there. But if I ran just this bot, there wouldn't be much to see. It'd be a blank screen. So let's add in a couple of quick steps to help us show when the bot is actually running and the triggers work. So what I'm going to do is just load a web page. It's very simple. We're going to actually just load Axiom's web page in this case. And we're going to now collapse the go to page step. Now, if I just ran it with that step, it would be over and done within a flash of an eye because the page would just load, then the bot would close. We need to add a bit of a wait just to keep the bot open so we can see that it worked. Okay, I've done that. Now, of course, for the purposes of this demo, I'm just showing you quickly a go-to page. You can use the step finder to flesh your automation out, and whether you want to scrape web pages or do data entry, etc. You can just add the steps you need. So that's my basic bot setup. I'm going to give it a name. As I mentioned, you need to insert the name into your JSON in the raw body. So I'm going to give this test trigger version 3. I'm going to cut and paste that name straight into my JSON into the name. There we go. Now, I need to check that key is correct. Your API key will be different. Let's go to the dashboard and find the API key, Google Sheets API. You can either generate a new, but keep in mind it will change any other uses of your API token will need to be updated. So I'm just going to click Show My API Token. It is correct, but we'll just copy and paste it in just to be thorough. And so that's Postman set up, and I've got my test automation set up in Axiom. I'm now ready to click Send. When we send, we should get a response back from the Axiom server, and that response should contain the URL to watch the automation we've run. Otherwise, you'll get an error message telling you what to fix. I'm just going to copy that URL out into here, and what we should see is a bot opening up the Axiom website. If we give it a short moment, and there we go. That's how to test sending a post request from Postman to Axiom. Thank you.